Tensions continue to rise between the U.S. and North Korea.
This time, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un issued a direct personal statement calling President Donald Trump, quote, deranged. The North's foreign minister reportedly said his country may be planning a hydrogen bomb test in the Pacific Ocean. That is after the United States authorized stiffer sanctions against North Korea for its nuclear activity. President Trump has dubbed Kim Rocket Man and warned of possible military action.
In Mexico City, survivors are still being pulled from the rubble as rescue operations stretch into a fourth day after the earthquake. At least 60 have been found alive in collapsed buildings, 2 just yesterday, giving rescuers renewed hope of finding more. More than 280 are now confirmed dead and nearly 2,000 are injured.
Hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico faces weeks or even months without electricity. Maria knocked out the entire grid across the U.S. territory, leaving millions of people without power. The state's debt-ridden power company did not complete even basic maintenance before the storm hit.
In Illinois, man is dead after he was thrown from a boat in northern Minnesota. Police arrested the driver of the boat and say he was boating while intoxicated. Officials say the men were on Lake Tabacogama when in Voyageurs National Park Wednesday. The 66-year-old man fell out of the boat when its driver hit a wave. A passerby helped pull him out, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. 55-year-old Stanislaw Kostichka was taken into custody. Officials say he could be charged with criminal vehicular operation resulting in death.
Early voting starts in Minneapolis today for the 2017 election. These are city races, including the job of mayor. Anybody who wants to get that voting out of the way or so passionate about your candidate, you got to knock it out. The early voting center on 3rd Street opens at 8 this morning. The election itself is November 7th. Early voting in St. Paul begins at the end of October. Court-ordered mediation continues into a second day today in the bitter budget battle that threatens hundreds of state jobs.
Democratic Governor Mark Dayton vetoed the legislature's operating budget to force Republicans back to the bargaining table. After one day of talks, there is no agreement in sight, and the legislature is set to run out of money beginning October 1st, although reserve cash will last a little longer. Pat Kessler reports.
Minnesota's top lawmakers are meeting in secret at the high-rise offices of a Minneapolis law firm. Because of a gag order from the mediator, they can't answer questions.
Well, I said I'm not going to comment on mediation.
But it's the governor who vetoed funding for the legislature, a separate branch of government, because he says he was forced to sign budget bills he didn't like. One Republican lawmaker compares it to hostage-taking.
But I have no interest in that.
By forcing a budget deal, or else laying off 400-plus staffers who work at the legislature.
There could be the potential casualties in the hostage-taking situation here, where if the issue is not resolved, there's going to be a lot of state employees who are laid off.
The political standoff is costing taxpayers more than $1,000 an hour for 2 law firms and a mediator. Legal fees could top $1 million. All the mediating is conducted in secret, and one lawmaker is advocating for more openness.
But there's no question about it that hatching a deal in secret usually doesn't end up being the best deal in the long run. We end up having to fix it in later sessions.
Pat Kessler, WCCO 4 News.
Mediation continues at 9:30 this morning. Both sides have agreed to keep any progress they make a secret.